Ciao, jewelry making friends. My name is Joey Balistreri for those of you who are new to my channel. And if this is your first time here on my beading mat, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I have been on a bracelet making spree and I am back today with another bracelet using some pipe chain from silversilk&more, and I purchased at a bead show a golem bead and also some coordinating ceramic beads that are handmade from another artist, and these two are going to be my focal point on this bracelet. And then I have literally just gone into my stash and pulled out this beautiful toggle clasp that's very scrolly and ornate, and it is solid bronze, and some little check glass gold rounds. I have a couple of these little end caps that actually come from silver silk. They finish off the ends of the pipe chain really beautifully. And I have some gold filled jump rings, and then I really love these. These are double bead caps, so you can put a bead on both sides and this becomes your gold spacer or metal presence in between two beads, and I just really love those. So I can link those before. I found these on Amazon. You can also create this same look by putting two bead caps back to back, but the double bead caps just add a little something special to the design. So I'm going to be using a couple of those to finish off my bracelet. So to start with, let me cut open these beautiful ceramic beads. They are just lovely, and I just love that, you know, they're handmade by an artist, actually an artist right here in Florida. I found these at a bead show along with a lampwork artist who carries designs from Golem and several other people. So I've had these in my stash for a few months, and I just thought it is time to do that bracelet. So I'm going to be using some para wire. It's 20 gauge. This is tarnish resistant wire, and I am doing gold. I am a gold girl. I love gold. So before I take this, cut this from the spool, I just want to smooth and straighten, and I am going to run my gold wire through my entire bracelet in one length and see if that gives me a nice little maybe bangle look. So I have my ruler here. Yes, I am actually measuring today. For those of you who have watched my videos before, you know that I tend to guesstimate or eyeball it, and this is more than I will need. I need about a 7-inch bracelet. 7 1/4 works well for me. So I'm going to cut just a bit more than 8 inches, and that will give me space for my loops and all of the little findings that I need for my bracelet. Let me straighten out this end. And now the way I'm going to go about getting my measurement is by just kind of lining up my elements in my bracelet. So this will be my focal. I am going to add in some of these little spacer beads here just to kind of deal with those large holes and add a little bit of gold presence. And then I'm just going to line these up just strictly for measurement purposes. And so this will be the two ends of my bracelet, the double bead cap. So let's get those in there. And then this is quite a beautiful but a little bit large toggle, so that will be on one end. And then these bead caps from Silver Silk, the end caps I meant to say, they pretty much go right to the end length of the Silver Silk, so I don't need to consider those in my measurement. And let's see where I am with this. So I'm at about 3.5 inches, so I need about another 4 inches to make my bracelet, and then I can trim down a little bit. So I'm going to cut 2 and 2 inches of the silver silk because I want this pipe chain, I want 2 inches on this side and 2 inches on this side. So I'm going to cut right here and then cut this in half as well. So this will not take up very much pipe chain, and I should still have some too that I will be trimming away, so it's going to kind of do that. Okay, so let me just smooth this wire, and I'm going to just curve it a little bit, and I'll start with my center, my golem bead, because the holes are so large, I do need to work out a little bit of a pattern here. So that's what I'm going to have to do on either side of this beautiful bead, but it's beautiful, look at that. And then let me string on my ceramic beads. So pretty. I'm a big proponent of going into your own stash and doing work from things that you have purchased, you know, selected, purchased, and that you bought because you love. It's bead boxes are so fun, and it's a very exciting day of the month when I get them, but I'm really a big proponent of going into your own supplies, because if you purchase something, you know, if you spent money on something, it generally means that you really liked it, and you know, it's sad when they sit in a box or a drawer. So that's what I'm doing today, is pulling from my own stash. So there's my little top part of my bracelet, and then I'm going to, if you can see, this is for those of you who are not familiar with pipe chain, this is a like rubber tube on the inside, and this is a really fine knitted wire that goes on top of it. So you may, when you cut it, you may have like some little bits and scraps, like there's a little piece that is loose from where I cut it, and I just usually, you know, take a second and make sure those little ends are clean. And then I'm going to just put this little cap on this end and string that. Oh, actually, you know what? I don't think I want that second seed bead. I don't think I want that there, because the end cap will be my little gold spacer. So let me come in view and show you what I'm doing. I do want all those little wires to go inside the cap. So it just looks like that. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Feed on my second little end cap. I just thought these went so well with the ceramic look of the bead. Okay, so that's what I have so far. And now I think I need to go ahead and finish off one end. And this is where these double bead caps are so pretty. And you know, I was also just doing this to show you that the end caps that actually come from silver silk that are made for the pipe chain, they are beautiful and lovely. But look how pretty of a finish you get. And my wire is a bit long. I gave myself a little extra working wire, but look how pretty of a finish you get even with like a regular bead cap. I mean, it's so lovely. So these are a little bit expensive, and I do love them, and I keep them in my stash. I try to keep a few on hand because I really like them, but you can accomplish a really beautiful look with the pipe chain with regular bead caps. And I have some other designs coming up with some other interesting ways to finish off the ends here. So let me grab a little bead stopper, because I want to, let me go ahead and string this side on too, and then I'm just going to put a little bead stopper on it and get a wire wrapped loop on one end. I do that, I'm going to straighten this out nice and straight and just double check my measurement, because once I wire wrap a loop, I won't be able to trim, and I don't want I have to make it a little bit straighter, and I'll put the curve back in it. Just so I can see where I'm at. So I am at about 6 3/4 of an inch, and when I put this toggle clasp on plus a jump ring, it will be 7.5 inches. So I think I am going to trim a tiny bit off of my pipe chain on both ends. So I'm going to do them together so that both of my finished ends are the same length. Let's see, which end do I want to cut? These two ends. So I'm just going to hold it together, and I'm just going to remove a tiny bit of length so they're both exactly the same. And put everything back. I am notorious for getting my bracelet lengths a little bit too long, because I really just get involved like in the pattern making, and you know, that part is so fun for me, and then the next thing I know, I have strung a pattern and it's beautiful, but it's too long. So I'm trying to get better about stopping and checking the measurement before I finish things off. So that's what I have so far, and I'm going to push this in the middle so I have space to do a wire wrapped loop on both ends, and I'm just going to put a little, make it nice and secure. A little bit difficult because it's wire, but just putting a little stopper on that side, and I'm just going to put a wire wrapped loop on this end. Just a normal, nice, secure. I wouldn't feel good about a simple loop here. You know, they're convenient because you can easily open and close them, but for security, for my golden bead, and for this beautiful toggle that I'm using, I would not feel secure about having a simple loop here. But it's a little bit to manage because I have all the wire, the beads, and the clip on the other end, but I can get it in there. Okay. And then I like to take my bent chain nose pliers and just go inside the loop if my coils were not perfectly lined up and straight. If you like messy wraps, you can definitely do that here, but I like these nice, clean, organized loops, and if I didn't get them perfectly lined up while I was wrapping, I just put my bent chain nose pliers in there and make it nice and tidy. This end will be a little bit, you know, a little bit wonky at this point because the other end is just resting and waiting. Go ahead and tuck that little tail, and I have this beautiful wire wrapped loop, and now I'm going to come to this end and just make sure that everything is tightened down, make sure that everything is where I want it before I wrap. Make sure this is inside, securely inside that end cap. Just take a minute and check everything, and I could actually go ahead and make my curve be a little bit easier to wire wrap this end. Very nice. I'm not going to worry about the orientation of my loop just because I'm managing a lot here. I'm going to get my wraps done, get that loop in there, and then I'll take 2 pliers and get them lined up the way that I want when I put the clasp on. So just another little pretty little wire wrapped loop. This will secure everything and make this nice and tight like a little bangle. Looking good. Those wraps turned out really nice on this side. Let me get in there with my pliers and tuck that little tail. I just love to fuss with things when I'm making jewelry. So now I'm just going to get a nice little curve and line up my loops. Beautiful. And then I'm using gold-filled jump rings on this. I am just simply going to attach this beautiful toggle clasp. This just makes me so happy. I love the colors of these beads, and I just thought for spring it looks so fresh and pretty with this white colored pipe chain. I like to even hear the metal like click. Oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. So, so, so pretty. Oh, what a sweet little bracelet, and it's so nice, a design like this that will feature a really special bead, you know, a handmade bead, an artisan bead. So I really, really love that. Let me get this little toggle closed. There. Oh wow. I have my other bracelet that I did from my past video on with these lampwork beads. I guess I'm thinking of kind of featuring my special beads, but there is this sweet little bracelet with the toggle clasp and featuring my beautiful golem beads right on the top of my wrist. I just love, love, love this bracelet. Okay, so I have another bracelet project using this pipe chain, and this time I'm going to be using this turquoise color. And I've already kind of played with the design a little bit just on a scrap piece of wire. I am using these CZECK pressed glass bell flowers. That one got away from me. And I'm going to use that as the end cap for the pipe chain. So let me just put this on the little sample and show you how pretty that finishes this off. So, and then on the other end, I'm going to use these little tiara cast cone end caps. So I just wanted to show you that you can do less expensive alternatives for finishing off the pipe chain as opposed to, you know, these little end caps that actually come from the silversilk&more website. These are high quality and I love them, but they're a little bit pricey. So, you know, I don't mind using it when I'm featuring like a special bead or a special design, but it is nice to have alternatives like the double bead cap. And, you know, there are just a lot of other ways to finish off the pipe chain. So on this one, I also have another little solid bronze toggle clasp that I had in my stash. I purchased these from a local bead shop. I try to support my local businesses. And then look how beautifully this little check glass faceted bead goes with the like purple and turquoise. I just think it's a really pretty combination. So let's do the same thing that we did on our other bead and get out a piece of this 20 gauge para-wire. Do the same exact thing, a bangle style bracelet. Pull my ruler back in so I can pull out about 8 inches of wire. We did about 2 inches on my other bracelet and it fits perfectly. So a little less than 2 inches for, oh, that is not correct because this will be a different measurement. I was about to cut my silver silk, my pipe chain, the wrong length. So let me do what I did before and just line everything up to get my measurement. So I think I want to do these beads on this end like that. So this is just strictly so that I can see how much length on my bracelet, my beads and findings and toggle will take up. And let me line this up. I'm just lining everything up so I can see. I will have about 3 inches there, so I need about 2 inches of the silver silk for each side of my bracelet. 2 inches. I'm going to cut it over my little dish just in case there's any of those little bits of metal that, you know, that kind of fray off. There is a little bit on this end that's already been cut. Can you see? You just want to take those off. It doesn't unravel, but it just gives you a nice clean end. And we'll do 2 inches here. And I always save these little bits. I have this little scrap of white because you can do all kinds of things. Earrings, you can, you know, as you see, sometimes you can finish off your bracelet with just really tiny pieces. So I definitely am not throwing those away. Okay, and now we can do that same thing again and just kind of see all the little bits of that fine mesh. It just goes a little bit. You just lose a little bit when you trim. Okay, so let me string on. I just used a scrap piece of wire here to get my pattern. So I like to start in the middle like I did on my other bracelet. Oh, and let me show you. I found these from Amazon as well. They're little enamel bead caps, and it just adds a tiny bit of color to the design. And like these look really pretty, like gave a nice little finish to those bell flowers. When I edit the video and upload it, I will try to link all of these little things from Amazon in case you're interested and would like to add them into your stash. See the little, those little, it is metal, so I do try to round them up because they can poke into your finger. Let me straighten out this end a little bit. I had this flower on wire. There it goes. Okay, I just love that for the middle. So I'm going to come down into the middle like I did before, and then my little piece of pipe chain on each side. And so it's going to get finished off by going right inside that little glass bell flower. It's such a cute way to create an end cap for a pipe chain. Look how beautiful that is. I just love it. Okay, and now I'm going to do my little tiara cast cone on each end to finish off the other side. I can zoom in a little bit. And then this beautiful purple luster check glass bead. So pretty. What a beautiful little bangle style. Beautiful. Okay, and I'll do the same thing, just get everything centered, and I'm going to put a clamp on this end and do a wire wrapped loop here. Zoom back out. Okay, and just repeat the wire wrapped loop on this side. When I start to see my designs and my choices come together like this, it's really fun. Sometimes it's easier to come back and tuck. Yeah, after I get this end wrapped, I'll go back and tuck the other end because it will be a little bit easier, a little bit more secure. So just another wire wrapped loop. Make sure everything is in place before I just double check so I don't have to redo my work. And now form my little bracelet. And give my loops the direction I want them to have. So pretty. Okay, let's see how this one looks. Ah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful little bangles. I'm looking a little bit like a gypsy with all these bracelets on my arm. I like to make my own jump rings from the same wire that I'm using in the project. It looks really nice and it has the anti-tarnish coating. So when I'm making jump rings, I make extras and put them in a little bag and keep them in with the wire so I know exactly what type of wire that jump ring is made out of. I am going to add a little bit of chain to this end. I have a supply of chain that I love from puritybeads.com. I found them at a bead show and I love this chain because it has they call it an E-coating, but it's an anti-tarnish coating and the chain is just like super high quality. So I like to keep a little supply of this, and let me decide if I want to double it. Yeah, I think I will double it, and I'm going to add just add a little length of chain to the back of my bracelet. I'm just going to find the middle of this little length of chain right there and add it so it will be doubled. I just think it makes it look a little bit more, you know, a little bit thicker, and it just kind of goes with the size of the pipe chain in the bracelet. So, you know, the scale is kind of what I'm thinking of. Okay, let me just get both of the chains on this little jump ring and close it really well. Perfect. And now this should be really easy to clasp with that chain. Oh, that is so beautiful. There we go. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness, let me clear some of the things off my mat. Look at that. It's so sweet. It's like a really pretty little bangle. So, you know, I do have the 20 gauge wire going through these, so I can actually, once everything is connected, just make it sort of fit my wrist the way I want. So the little bit of chain is a nice trick for making your toggle easy to clasp. And if you haven't seen this video, I'll link it below. This is a beautiful little design featuring lampwork beads that I treated myself to. And this has a front closure with this little magnetic clasp. And so this is really easy to take on and off. And it has that little magnetic clasp that's really unobtrusive. It's like just a pretty little gold presence on the front. So I'll link this video below if you haven't seen it. It's a really fun technique, and I had a little problem solving in that video because my lampwork beads are quite fragile and they were expensive, and I wanted to make a bracelet bar and I had the issue of them spinning around, and so there's a little problem solving in this video. So I'll link that one below. And these are the two that we did today, two like bangle style bracelets using the silver silk. And so I hope you had a little takeaway some tricks and tips that you can use, and if you haven't tried this product, that will give you some ideas too and some options for ways to finish off the pipe chain. So I really appreciate you spending time on my beading mat today. I thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, it would be greatly appreciated. It doesn't cost anything, it doesn't obligate you to anything, and it really helps support my work. So thanks a lot for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well and having fun on their beading mats. Ciao, jewelry making friends.